Who was Neil Armstrong? Chapter 2. The first flight across the Atlantic. On May 20th, 1927, a young pilot named Charles Lindbergh set out from Long Island all by himself in a small single-engine plane to cross the Atlantic Ocean. It was called the Spirit of St. Louis. The trip was daring and dangerous. Lindbergh had no radio or parachute. There was just enough room in the cockpit for him to sit with his legs bent. In Paris, 33 hours later, 100,000 people were waiting to greet Charles Lindbergh. Overnight, he became the most famous man on earth. He was as famous as Neil Armstrong would become a little more than 40 years later. Chapter 2, Real Planes. Neil was determined to fly. Port Conita Airfield was nearby. Today, it is the Wapakoneta Neil Armstrong Airport. As a teenager, Neil took part-time jobs to pay for his flying lessons. He mowed the lawns at a cemetery. He helped bake donuts at a donut company. More than 1,300 a night. Ooh, that's a lot of donuts. He got the job at the donut. It's a little forehead. 1 second. There we go. He got a job at the donut company because he was small enough to climb inside the dough maker and clean it. All this extra money went to flying lessons. By the time Neil was 15, he had earned a pilot's license. Now he knew how to fly a plane, but he was still too young to drive. At Bloom High School, only 6 blocks from his home, Neil wasn't a top student, but he was better than average. Like his mother, he was musical. He played baritone horn in a jazz band called the Mississippi Moonshiners. From the time he learned to read, he loved books. In his first year of elementary school, he read more than 100. In high school, his favorite subjects were science and math. He wanted to go to college. He wanted to learn more about planes and how to fly. The Armstrongs were not poor. They owned their home. They had a car. There was always enough for food. But money was still tight, and a college education was very expensive. Neil, however, was able to attend Purdue University in Indiana on a Navy scholarship. He wanted to study aeronautic engineering, how planes are built, and what makes them fly. In return for scholarship money, Neil had to serve in the U.S. Navy. This arrangement was fine with Neil. In the Navy, he could fly planes.